Satnam and welcome. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a fundamental Kundalini yoga meditation that not only heals our root chakra, which is our place of feeling safe in this world, but it also starts to awaken our Kundalini tantric energy so that it can help you on your journey of union of your brain and your heart in order to disrupt ancestral karmic patterns. Satnam and welcome once again. I'm so excited to be back with you all here on Kundalini Yoga Wednesday on our channel and our community, Sovereign Women Movement. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being an amazing supporter. We have been talking a lot this week about my recent experience in Palenque, Mexico, with the Mayan medicine men. Some people may call them shamans, but I was led very auspiciously there. And I recently did a video that you definitely want to go check out because I shared with you my experience with the Temazcal ceremony, a traditional Mayan ceremony that is done for purposes of purification, cleansing, and healing, but also for deep connection to your ancestors and also for disruption of any ancestral karmic patterns that still are upon us. And through that journey, as you'll know, if you watch that video, I really understood at a deeper level how important ancestral healing work is. And I also was able to understand what it is that you and I need to do the ancestral healing work, but also to thrive and truly be successful and sovereign in this new age of Aquarius, in this new cycle for humanity that the Mayans called the sixth sun. One of the other things that was really, really interesting that I spoke about was that through my experience in this Temazcal ceremony recently, I actually was able to make a very serious and important connection with our Mayan ancestors who have been guiding me for some time now to really reconnect and basically telling me that it's time to be able to share their true wisdom, because what we've been told about our Mayan ancestors and the prophecies that they left for us to understand is completely incorrect. And that now, because we're in this incredible crossroads for humanity, that not only is it time, but that we have the tools to be able to shift humanity into evolution instead of destruction. And to do that, I was so blessed to realize that there was a deep connection with Kundalini yoga and the practices that I myself have been aligned with and been guided by my ancestors, but never understanding how this practice would connect specifically to my roots. The practice that I teach, Kundalini yoga, as many of you know, is taught by Yogi Bhajan, and he brought these tantric practices from the East to the West in the 1970s. At one point, these practices were secret, when you had to be basically a king or a queen or study under a guru for a long time to be able to even have access to some of the mantras and meditations that we'll be practicing and that we practice here on my channel. But there's a deep connection between the Mesoamerican cultures, especially the Mayan culture, and the Hindu and Buddhist cultures, and especially as it relates to Kundalini yoga, which is not of any religion. It's actually an ancient science of energy. It's thousands of years old. And this is why you see it depicted in many different places in the world. Now, in Mesoamerican culture, just the way in Hindu and Buddhist cultures, much of their iconography and a lot of the things that you see as symbols represent the spine, which represents to them the serpent energy. And they describe the serpent as movement of yogic energy or spinal energy through the human body. And also many of the hieroglyphs and the things that you see, the drawings and the temples and the Mayan temples, which they dedicated a lot of temples to meditation temples. There were temples for burials, tombs, there were temples for celebrations, for events that they had, but there were also temples specifically dedicated, built in sacred geometry to meditation. And in many of these temples, you see the artwork that embody esoteric principles that students of tantric diagrams and the chakras are going to find very similar. By tantric, we mean doctrines and principles involving mantras, meditation, yoga, ritual, and most particularly what is referred to in the old world as Kundalini yoga. So the symbologies and understandings of the chakra system and Kundalini yoga embody a very uniquely identifiable set of principles that also our ancient Mayans practiced themselves. And as I look at some of the prophecies and what we are to do to thrive and evolve and to truly merge the ancient wisdom with today's knowledge, is to be able to use these practices to do what the Mayans told us needs to happen in order for us to do that, which is to bring to union the heart and the brain. Now, the reason that the heart and the brain are not in union, obviously, is because, well, first of all, this separation happened 13,000 years ago. And we were going through the same situation we're going through now, where there was abuse of power and Mother Earth was responding because of the neglect and the abuse of power. Here we are, a society, a humanity, a race that has amnesia and has forgotten who we truly are. This is what the great Mayan spoke about, where we are entering into the age of self-awareness. And the biggest thing that we have forgotten, or that we have been lied and programmed, is that God, it does not exist within us, when in fact God is experiencing herself through us. And this is the next evolutionary cycle of humanity, because even our Mayan ancestors didn't guarantee or for sure tell us what they saw the evolution of humanity would be. But from my perspective, and looking at the herstory and history, I can see that they worship many different gods that carry different archetypal elements that help them throughout their day. And the big evolutionary jump for all of us is that those gods, those entities, those archetypes, those powers actually exist within all of us. So what we need to do as a human civilization to disrupt ancestral karmic patterns that have been engraved in us and programmed in us because of trauma. That's why the heart and brain is disconnected, because there's been violence, abuse, whatever that is. We no longer feel safe in our bodies, and we don't feel that this world is safe. So we have to bring the healing back to that connection, so that not only can we disrupt these patterns, but that so that we also can bring humanity for evolution and evolvement instead of destruction. So like I explained in my last video, we're going to be moving through a series of 7 weeks where I'll be sharing with you a specific Mayan prophecy, of course, with the permission of my ancestors, my Mayan ancestors as well, connecting with them and asking for their guidance, making sure that I'm doing the best possible to share accurate information with all of you. And as well, following up with that every week, I'll be sharing with you an actual meditation, a Kundalini yoga meditation that will support the prophecy, that will support whatever it is we're talking about that week. Because ultimately what we'll be doing at the end of 7 weeks is that we will have worked on each of our chakra systems. We'll be using these specific meditations in Kriya to bring the Kundalini energy, which is coiled energy at the bottom of your spine. There's different avenues of energy fields actually coiled at the bottom of your spine. There's a spine, or there's an energy grid where when you have an orgasm, energy comes through. Kundalini is white tantric energy, so it's a different one. And we activate that through this practice of pranayama, mantra, meditation, which is known as Kundalini yoga. And so each week you'll have a supportive also meditation to assist you, so that by the end of 7 weeks, you can feel whole and complete, and you can feel that connection between the heart chakra and the brain. And so the first chakra we're going to work on this week is very important for us to start here. And that is known, I think most of us are very familiar with this chakra. Now, to give you a really quick description of what chakras are, think of them as brains, energy centers. They're subtle within our energy field, within our energetic vehicle, because your body ultimately is a frequency comprised of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. These grids, or these energy fields, energy brains, become damaged, and they become damaged when we don't manage stress correct, in a healthy way, with, of course, trauma, with the foods we eat, all of the things that comprise toxicity that make them not work the way they should be, which makes us feel anxious, nervous, sick. We get physically sick, mentally sick, and spiritually sick. Now, as it relates to the first chakra, which is the root chakra, or some people know it as the Muladhara chakra, this chakra is actually situated right at the base of your spine, and it's considered the groundwork of like the energy body. Remember, if you've been through trauma, you don't feel safe in your body. And the reason why we don't feel safe in our body is because, number one, the body keeps score and memory of all of your traumatic memories. And if we don't release them naturally through meditation, through yoga, they'll continue to make you won't feel safe in your body, which will make your root chakra very weak. And if your root chakra is weak, you don't feel safe in this world. So there's specific mantras, meditations that we use to help stabilize this specific chakra. The actual Kundalini awakening originates here. Now, many people talk about Kundalini awakening like it's a fad or something you make a goal in. Kundalini awakenings happen naturally, and sometimes they happen through trauma. Many people are going through a Kundalini awakening and they don't know it. They think they're going through a psychosis. Believe me, not only did that happen to me, but it also has happened to people my clients that I work with themselves. But it's important for us to understand that we're not doing any work we're doing here is not to specifically awaken your Kundalini. It's for us to open up that channel of energy in a subtle, beautiful way. And this is not you would actually be more shocked through a dark night of the soul if the energy opened like that, because that's exactly what happened with me. That could be very traumatic, but you can't control that. It happens. Sometimes it also happens through the mystical experience. What we're doing here is not putting a focus necessarily for you to have a Kundalini awakening, but it's more important for you to open your energy of Kundalini within you so that we can use that white tantric energy for healing. Okay. So the Kundalini awakening originates from the root chakra. And many actually describe this as a subtle red color because you can see them in colors now. And it's linked, of course, with the earth element, feeling grounded and secure, right? Being able to release ourselves from the fear of being alone, because ultimately we have the cosmic mother and Pachamama herself, who's always supporting and there with us. And so we'll be working on this first chakra system to help us stimulate the Kundalini energy and to help us start to feel more grounded. So as we allow the energy to start moving upwards, we can connect the brain and the heart together. So the first meditation we're going to practice is a very fundamental meditation to Kundalini yoga. It works directly to stimulate and channel this Kundalini energy. This meditation is known as Sat Kriya. Sat Kriya. Sat Kriya. A Kriya is actually a recipe of energy, mudra, mantra meditation that you do to get a result. Sat Kriya is a powerful meditation that Yogi Bhajan would say that if you just practice this meditation once a day, it's like doing a full Kundalini yoga class. If you practice it for like 11 minutes. We're going to start off with 3 minutes, especially if you're a beginner. You want to start with 3 minutes to build vitality and to build energy so that you have the energy to process the emotions that do come up. Because ultimately, it's not that you can't keep your hands up or you're physically weak. It's the emotions that are taking a toll in your mind that are prohibiting you from completing the meditation. It's all emotional. So what we're doing with this meditation is that we're working with prana, with our breath and our sound to help improve physical health. With our sound, by chanting a specific sound frequency, which is Sat, Nam, truth and identity, and through the movement of our navel, which we'll be bringing back and forth, you create a gentle rhythmic massage of the internal organs, which then strengthens the heart through the rhythmic pumping motion of the navel point, which we're going to be doing right now. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation also produces waves of energy that circulate, energize, and basically heal the body. The other thing about the Sat Kriya that's really important, and this is going to help anyone, especially if they've gone through any sexual abuse or for some reason carry any sexual phobias, because the Sat Kriya strengthens the entire sexual system and it stimulates its natural flow of energy. It allows you to control the insistent sexual impulse by rechannelizing sexual energy to creative and healing energy, which then activates the body. So if there are any sexual phobias, it helps you, instead of having that phobia, fear, or whatever that looks like, to use that to create something, not to destroy. It's a very, very powerful Kriya that, like I said, practicing it for just 11 minutes a day is like doing a full entire Kundalini yoga class. So I'm going to show it to you today. We're going to practice it for 3 minutes together. I'll show you first, and then we'll move right into it after we tune in with the Adi Mantra. Now, what I do in Kundalini yoga, there are no rules, dogmas, doctrines. But when I went to Kundalini yoga teacher training, I had really awesome, beautiful teachers that really taught me the sacredness of this practice. And one of the things that they said was about covering our head. I get questions a lot about why are you wearing white or why do you cover your head? You don't have to do anything. Experience the meditations with any color clothes you want and covering your head or not. But the reason that we wear white is to expand our electromagnetic field, to work with the energy more powerfully. And also, we're more mindful when we're wearing white. So it does make you a lot more conscious of your present moment awareness. The other thing is covering our head. We cover our head in Kundalini yoga simply because we work with energy. So if we're working with energy that we're pulling from the coiled serpent right at the root chakra, we want that energy to move through the chakra system, come up to the crown chakra, and then right back down instead of just coming out. Now, does that mean that if you don't cover your head, you're going to explode or something horrible is going to happen to you? No. There are certain meditations where I would say absolutely cover your head because it does feel like you're going to get headaches, right? It doesn't. But you get to experience it. Try it with or without covering your head and see what feels better for you. So I cover my head when I practice. So the meditation itself, how we're going to do this is we're going to be sitting actually in rock pose. So rock pose is where you're actually sitting on your knees and on your heels. You're actually completely on your heels. Your legs are nice and together. Your feet are, the top of your feet are flat on the floor. Now, for those of you that have injuries or you need more support, you can easily grab like a pillow or just even a cushion, something that supports you, and you can put a cushion underneath the feet, and also even in between your buttocks and your feet as well, and your heels. That helps a lot. And if you're practicing to begin with, it might help you so that you're not so distracted with what you're doing with your feet with the actual meditation. So you're going to be sitting in rock pose just like this. What you're going to be doing next is you're going to be bringing your hands together and you're going to interlace them. And then you're going to bring your pointer finger, your Jupiter finger up. For women, more than likely, you're going to feel more naturally inclined to have your right thumb covering your left thumb. Okay, so it looks like this. Men typically feel more inclined with left thumb over right, but just do what feels better for you right now. Then you're going to bring the mudra up and you're going to bring the arms touching to the side of your ears. They're hugging your head. Now you're going to close your eyes. You can gaze up to the middle of the forehead. We're going to be listening to the sound frequency in the background so you have something to move through. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to chant Sat as you bring the navel all the way in. Imagine it going to the back of the spine. Nam as you push the navel out. Remember, it's that rhythmic navel in and out that's creating the rhythm of frequency within you with the sound frequency that's changing the chemistry of the body, that's giving you an incredible flood of blood and oxygen all the way up to the brain, opening up the heart and giving you, again, that ability to unlock the root. It works heavily on the lower triangle, the 3 chakras. So specifically, we're starting this week with the root so that it starts to open up and we can work with that in the 7 weeks to bring the union of the brain and the heart. Okay. So before we start though, in Kundalini Yoga, the other thing that we do is we tune in. So we tune in with the Adi Mantra. So the Adi Mantra is Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And so what you're going to do is you're going to first bring your hands in prayer pose into the heart space. Close your eyes. Gaze up to the middle of the forehead. Om Namo Gurudev Namo connects us to the golden triangle of all the yogis that came before us, that came after us, brings together the union of the mind and the heart, brings together the union of earth and heaven. So we'll start by taking a deep inhale through the nose, and we'll suspend the breath at the crown chakra. Hold the breath all the way in. And exhale. You're exhaling through your nose as you're pushing the belly all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. One more time. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. And last time to begin. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Om Gurudev Namo. Om Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Exhale. Adguri name, Jugat Guri name, Sat Kriya name, Siri Gurudeve name. Adguri name, Jugat Guri name, Sat Kriya name, Siri Gurudeve name. Adguri name, Jugat Guri name, Sat Kriya name, Siri Gurudeve name. Inhale, please. Exhale. And we can open our eyes so we can get into the position. We're going into rock pose, sitting on our heels. Again, feel free to put that cushion if you need that extra support. Now, with sitting on our heels, we're going to begin. And if you have any injuries, again, you can stay sitting on easy pose. Bring your mudra. Mudra is the position with our hand. Jupiter fingers are up. Bring your hands up. Right thumb is over the left. Bring the arms to the side of your head. Nice and straight. You're going to chant out loud, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And we're going to do this with the sound frequency you hear behind. So please get into the position and let's go ahead and begin.
Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam Sat, 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 Nam.
And now with your hands still in the mudra, let's take a deep inhale together through the nose. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Release the mudra, sweep the aura as you're coming down with your hands. Bring your hands to your knees, align your spine, stay in rock pose. Feel what you feel for a moment, be still. And very slowly come out of the rock pose position, come back into easy pose, taking your time, allowing the energy to settle. It's a very potent Kriya. Bring your hands to your knees, align your spine. Come back into prayer pose. And we'll end today with a short Sat Nam by inhaling and exhaling. Sat Nam. Inhale. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Waheguru Hechio. Sat Nam. Please honor yourself. And as you open your eyes, remember, God herself is realizing herself through you. And welcome back. Take your time coming back. And so begins our journey of 7 weeks of moving through all of the different chakra centers in order to be able to bring to union heart and brain so we can disrupt ancestral karmic cycles. Like I said, to be better prepared, please check out this other video that I just created so that you can understand exactly why it's so important for us to continue to be committed to ancestral healing and to taking our sovereignty back. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing with others.